Put Kane on the phone now.
Chris Laurier bellowed. His son recognized the signs. A storm was brewing. As all thoughts of Teresa pushed to the back of his mind, he swapped the phone to his other hand, opened the door, and waited for Kane to step out from the elevator. While he was distracted, Teresa took the opportunity to slip quietly into the bathroom.
You need to take this,
said Enzo, stepping back into the suite and handing the phone to Kane.
I know it's not what you want to hear, Chris, but there's nothing you can say to change my mind.
Kane spoke calmly into the phone.
We've been business partners for so many years now and friends for much longer. This may have come out of the blue, but I'm sure you'll come to understand that this is for the best. Nothing can stay the same forever. You wouldn't want the business to stagnate, would you? It's time for me to move on. It can be a fresh start for us both.
Enzo bit his nails as he watched Kane's face for clues to his father's reaction. The wait seemed interminable. Then he saw the man's face soften.
All right, but for the sake of our friendship, can you at least tell me one thing? I've already had to deal with the defection of a major supplier, so I'm beginning to suspect that someone has it in for me. Forget about any NDAs. You owe me this much. Which one of our competitors was it? Tell me.
I don't know the company, to be honest. I was only given the name of the person making the offer.
Who was it?
Damon Hemsworth.
Who? I've never heard of him.
Neither had I. But now that I have, can I give you some advice for the sake of our friendship?
Go on.
He's a force to be reckoned with. Don't mess with him. Now I need to go. I've already said more than I should.
Kane handed the phone back to Enzo and left.
Who the hell is Damon Hemsworth?
Chris's hoarse voice crackled down the line. Enzo was trembling too much to respond to his father. He didn't dare admit that he knew exactly who Damon was, and that his vendetta against the company was all his own fault. The color drained from his face. When they had last spoken, Damon had told him he would be arriving to collect the money for the Californium in 2 hours. He checked the time on his watch. 30 minutes to go. Enzo broke into a cold sweat and fumbled for his cell. Switching it on, his eyes widened.
No!
Enzo let out a strangled scream as his eyes scanned a flood of messages breaking the news of the withdrawal of one investor after another.
Backstabbers!
He fumed, hurling his cell into the trash. He was too angry even to notice that Teresa was no longer in the room.
What is it now?
Came Chris's rasping voice down the landline.
Dad, it's Damon Hemsworth. I know who he is.
Within minutes of slamming down the phone, Chris stormed into the presidential suite at the Laurier Hotel to confront his son face to face.
Go on then. Who is he?
Enzo could barely squeeze out the words.
He's a university student.
Is this all just a joke to you?
Enzo felt the heat of his father's rage as he bore down on him.
But Dad, he really does go to my university.
Are you seriously trying to tell me that all my suppliers and investors have been lured away by nothing more than a university student? How is that possible? Those are experienced businessmen and serious investors. Did he brainwash them?
Enzo told his father about the Californium Damon had given to Tiffany as a birthday gift.
So he's super rich. I get it, but why take it out on us?
Shrinking away, Enzo was forced to explain how he had made use of some of the Laurier family's more disreputable contacts to switch the genuine Californium for a fake.
I did it for the good of the family. He humiliated us. How was I to know this would happen?
Chris sank to the couch and buried his face in his hands while he digested the news and weighed up his options. Raising his gaze to his son, and in a measured tone, he issued his order.
Call him right now.
And say what?
If the only thing you can say, give him what he wants and hope he's in a forgiving mood.
What did you say?
Enzo had never known his father give in to anyone. He was the most stubborn man in Hillwood.
What are you waiting for?
Chris shot to his feet, causing his son to jump back. Veins throbbed on the older man's temples.
Do you think that this is what I want? We might have been able to withstand losing some of our suppliers. We could have used the chance to negotiate a better deal and turn it into our advantage. But this, the defection of my oldest friend, my business partner, together with our major investor, is sending them all fleeing like rats leaving a sinking ship. We'll be bankrupt.
But how will giving in to him make a difference?
Do you have any better ideas?
Enzo opened his mouth to speak but then closed it. Chris's eyes blazed at his son.
Why are you still standing there? I said call him now. Or are you just going to stand there doing fish impressions while our family goes to the wall?
Without a word, Enzo dropped to his knees and searched the trash for his cell, gagging at some of the items he had to pick through and cursing Damon's name.
What are you doing? Call yourself a Laurier? You're no son of mine if you don't make that call right now.
Finding his cell, Enzo hurriedly called Damon.
He hung up.
He told his father as the line went dead.
Try again, and keep trying until he answers.
Enzo did as he was told. After his 10th unsuccessful attempt, he looked anxiously at the time. The 2 hours he had been given were nearly up.
Dad, he isn't picking up.
Try texting him.
With shaking hands, Enzo typed, "You can have the Californian back. It's yours," and pressed send. As soon as the message went through, Enzo's cell rang.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Laurier Jr.
Enzo fought hard to resist rising to the sarcasm in Damon's voice. He held his breath for a count of 3, let it go slowly, then responded in the meekest tone he could muster.
Thanks for calling back. I meant what I said in the text. I'll give you back the Californium, and we'll call it quits, okay?
There was silence at the other end of the line.
So do we have a deal?
He asked anxiously.
It's not that simple. I already gave you the chance to do the right thing, but you didn't take it. But there might still be a way we can sort this out.
Okay, Dad's here. We're willing to do whatever's necessary to set things right. We can do it right now. If you come here, I'll give you back the Californium and apologize face to face. No hard feelings.
You're missing the point. It's not me who needs the apology. Didn't you see the news? You and your family need to get down on your knees and apologize to the Vandergelts. And you better hope they're in a forgiving mood.
Enzo clenched his fists. Through gritted teeth, he said,
No way.
If you refuse to apologize to Teresa and her family, then I'll just have to do things my own way.
Seeing his son's jaw tighten, Chris snatched the cell from him.
Now, you just listen to me. I don't care how rich you are. We won't be bullied by the likes of you. So you've spent a load of money to snatch my suppliers and investors, huh? Do you really think that will finish us? This is the Laurier family we're talking about. We can soon find new suppliers. We've got the talent and resources to recover from this setback. We won't give in to your threats.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Chris heard a smile in Damon's voice that unsettled him.
Do you like magic tricks, Mr. Laurier?
What?
Chris growled.
I gave you a way to end this, but now I see that you don't want to take it. There's still 10 minutes left out of the time I gave your son to pay back what he owes. If you like magic, here's a great trick while you wait. You can sit back and watch the Laurier family fortunes vanish.